It's 10-4 with Johnny Jones, the YouTube channel about you, where I read your comments and your stories. Now, the last video I asked you guys to give me some terrible dad jokes and tell me a few stories about your introduction to radio. And you guys have a lot of comments here, so let's go ahead and read them. But first, make sure you got some black coffee because it's 4:20 a.m. here and I need it. Anyways, let's get started. Chino Valdez says, I take care of a building full of seniors up here in Canada. A couple of weeks ago, a tenant gifted me 2 CB radios, a Realistic TRC 483, and a Cobra 18WXST for 4x4ing with buddies. I already have a couple Baofeng. I don't know how you pronounce Baofeng. I guess it's just some people say Baofeng. It's a Chinese radio. Handhelds, but he's a good guy, so I decided to get into CBs with his help. Well, that's nice. Just picked up an antenna and watched some of the classics to read more, the lingo down. Smokey and the Bandit, Convoy, Breaker, found your channel at exactly the right time. Cheers, bud. Okay, well, I hope, Chino, that you're also subscribed to Johnny Jones at Home, which is my main radio channel. But I also thought about making a possible video where we do talk about lingo and I quiz you guys on that. If you want to do that one, just let me know. I don't know if I'll do it on the main channel or this one, but that'd be a fun little contest. Who remembers this lingo from 50 years ago now? But that's pretty cool, man. So welcome in. I hope you got yourself a decent antenna. People aren't quite as close as they used to be on CB radio. You might have to reach good 10, 15 miles sometimes to hit someone. So get yourself a decent antenna if you haven't already. But thanks for commenting. I appreciate it. Cheers, bud. Hindsight 896 says, I remember the first time I had intercourse. I was so scared. I was all alone. I had to censor that a bit for YouTube. But, all right then. Thank you for the joke. Elliot Spencer. Hello, Elliot. Says, hi, Johnny. Thank you for the new video. Here's my cheesy dad joke for you. What is the fastest fish in the sea? A motor pike. Oh, God. That's a good one. That's a good one. That is a really good bad one, man. Anywho's, here's here's my story of how I got into CB radio. Way back in 1979, when I was at school, a lot of the other kids' parents had CB radios, even though it was illegal here in the UK. I've got a lot of UK viewers, by the way. You know, it's not something I realized, but I got a lot of people from the UK who chime in. It was finally legalized in November 1981, and I got my first CB radio for a Christmas present. How much was that? I'd love to know. If you'll comment again, I want to know how much a CB radio cost in 1981. Because if I recall, man, they were pretty expensive. That was a heck of a present. The radio was an Amstrad CB 901. Never heard of that. Definitely sounds like it's from the UK. Since then, I have probably had about 300 different CB radios over the years. At present, I am using a Realistic TRC 3000. I should have did that with the Amstrad. I'm going to do it with the Amstrad, too. Anyways, there you go. That's what they both look like. AM home base CB. Also have a high gain VCB. High gain 5. Sorry. I don't... The Roman numerals don't exactly translate for me. High gain 5 CB, but that one is a bit naughty. Take care. You've been in there modifying H. Elliott. Well, thank you for commenting, and let me know if you have any idea what they cost back then, because that was a heck of a present, I do believe, in 81. Little Cow Workshop says, Johnny, I got started and hooked on radios as a young kid. My grandmother had an old-school solid-state multiband shortwave radio. I was fascinated by it, and I would listen to it for hours. I also had walkie-talkie sets that I used with my brothers and neighbors. I also learned to build a radio and an antenna from a Radio Shack kit at age 10, then graduated to a Royce 23 channel. Have a lot of those out in the building. With a Radio Shack indoor antenna circa 1985. Eventually picked up a 40-channel radio. I've continually had a CB in my vehicle for the last 20 years. I rocked the same Cobra 29 for at least 20 years. Finally upgraded to a Cobra 19 Ultra Mini with a new Wilson antenna. I have a 102 ready to install at home for my base. Stay tuned, Monty in Southwest Florida. Well, thank you, Monty. That's another thing that one of the reasons why I made this channel is because you guys either have kids or grandkids. Most of you guys do, I would imagine. And nowadays, I say nowadays like I'm 80, but it's not crazy to assume that things have changed so drastically that even in my short time here on Earth, I've realized that something is massively different. And one of the things that has really taken the wind out of a lot of children's sails, or just, young adults, is the idea of short-form media. Shorts, YouTube shorts, TikTok, stuff like that, video games. Older video games, not as bad, but newer video games are purely made for addiction, buying stuff, especially phone games. So you don't see a lot of kids doing things like modifying stuff, creating new things, buying science kits. Nobody cares to make a radio. And here is the ridiculous explanation of why no one needs CB radio anymore, or any sort of radio, is because we have cell phones now. What do you think that is? What do you think that smartphone is? What do you think Wi-Fi is? Really? I mean, we're going to get to the point where no one really understands anything, but we're just fed continually by 1%. Ooh, tinfoil hat guy here. Anyways, Monty, I'm really glad you got into radio, and we need more people like you in radio. Unfortunately, we're really running out of people, and I don't think it'll get much better soon, but thanks for commenting anyway, Monty. Alan Slade says, what do you call a bloke hiding under a load of leaves? Russell. God. Anyways, I just ordered a 12.6 volt, 1200 amp hour with USB ports on as well. I'm guessing he's talking like a Jackery rig, something you drag around to charge things, because I've got a new Linton CB, which is so small you can put it in the palm of your hand. It does all SSB, and I believe it puts out 18 watts, so I'm going to get to the high point, find some skip first, and see how it goes. But I have a little amp, RM203, so I'm going to have some fun. Cheers, Johnny. Take care of yourself and yours. God bless. My friend 73. Thank you, Alan, and good luck to you. I don't know if I've heard of a Linton CB. Now, Farpoint Farms did have one on his channel recently, and for you guys who are paying attention from the main channel, I'm going to have a new sideband radio on there soon, because I've been requesting them, and finally, Radio Oddity reached out to me and said, here's $200. Here's a $200 radio anyway, and so we're going to test it out in Canada. So get on the air when I'm in Canada, because I'm leaving soon. Anyways, thank you, Alan. God bless you, and have fun, man. Have fun. Paul Puglia says, Johnny, I do say that butt joke, the one I made last time, was bad, but so bad that it was funny. Thank you. Bad jokes can be funny. Enjoying your videos. You have a wonderful day, safe day. God bless. Ciao for now, my friend. I also have a voicemail from Paul again. Unfortunately, the voicemail was garbled for some reason. Now, I was able to hear it, but it won't sound good on the video, so I'll just have to tell you his joke at the end. But thank you, my friend. LDX1CB says, I had people try to show me their CB radios back in the 90s. Just seemed like big mobile walkie-talkies to me. Then one day, Mud Dauber pulled into work, and I could hear him over the phone. Well, that's some power. I went to check on what he had going on, and he had some fire in the wire. I would say so. He started talking to the next county over, about 20 or 30 miles, and I thought to myself, I can see that this could be cool and useful. Next thing you know, I'm doing shootouts and daily driving an 8-pill. Whew. Well now, roasting the neighbors' weenies, are we? Well, thank you for commenting, LDX1CB. Wow, I had someone comment on here about a 32 pill, and I thought, God, what in that? What are you trying to do, man? It's just walk out there looking like bacon. You've been talking on the radio, you're just crispy. Vintage 76 Viper Green Beetle says, I'm a fan of Smokey and the Bandit movies, which was probably the first time I saw CB radios been used. That's why I think CB radios are cool and handy to have. See, that's what I want to talk about in that documentary. I want to talk about how CB radio, obviously it was useful. Obviously truckers used it to get around speed traps. Obviously it's a useful tool. However, it was a cultural icon. It was a sort of time capsule for a lot of people. When you get a CB radio, especially a classic looking CB radio, an older 23 channel, it really reminds you of all of those movies. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Pace, I can't remember what it was, but it was a Pace radio that I think was displayed most prominently in Smokey and the Bandit. And that's, you don't see Pace radios anymore. They just died out a long time ago. So, and a Pace radio, some of those, they look nice, man. 23 channel, they look nice. Woo! And I think they even had a scan function back then, which was pretty cool. But thank you for commenting there, Vintage 76 Viper Green Beetle. I got through that. Sometimes I stumble on that name so bad. But yeah, I think you're right. It was something else, something other than usefulness. It was like a cowboy pirate era. You Should Read says, what do you call a guy with a rubber toe? Roberto. Jesus Christ. That's rough, man. That's pretty good. I don't mean that in like a good way. That's bad, but it's good bad, man. That is good bad. I'll have to use that one. Oh boy, I'm going to get on some people's nerves. Thank you. You Should Read. That's a really good one. Ben McGee says, problems with the cooler? AC deceased. Oh, that's a bad joke. God, I feel like you have to be like a grandpa with spiked tea, you know, coming out to talk to some HVAC guys working on your freaking air conditioner. Hey, you can't hear a joke. I don't know. I don't know how you get away with saying that. When you had to be some old man, they just like ancient old man that was slightly tipsy just to get away with that without people like, shut up. All right. Well, thank you, my friend. James Dean says, what is black and white and red all over? A zebra with a suntan. Oh, God, that one doesn't... I heard that one years ago and thought I was terrible. Yeah, I'm going to have a whole repertoire of terrible jokes to ruin any family gathering I'm at. Thank you, James Dean. I appreciate it. He's even got the emoji, the little sweat emoji. Like it's that cringy. It's terrible. But thanks, bud. Little Cow Workshop says, and this is the last comment, thanks for the shout out. Here's my worst dad joke. Why did the tomato turn red? Because it saw the salad dressing. That one's actually pretty cute. I like that one. I can actually tell that one to people without them killing me. Hope you get that AC fixed soon. Stay cool, brother. Monty in Southwest Florida. You know, the air conditioner in here, like I said, it just doesn't work. There's one behind me that they put in the window. However, they screwed up the wiring on that side, so both pop-outs, they don't have any power on them. So I would need an extension cable to get power back to that air conditioner, but unfortunately, for one, I don't know if that thing works. It's just been welded into the window pretty much years ago, not by me, by the previous owner. And also, I often have times with the breaker already kicking, so... I don't know if I can even run an air conditioner out here, but I will stay in the fan, stay cool as much as I possibly can. If I die a heat stroke, I still love you guys. So Paul Puglia left me a voicemail with another joke, but it was pretty garbled, but I managed to look the joke up and see which one he was talking about, and here is his terrible joke. Confucius say, he who stand in toilet, high on pot. Audience. Well, thank you, Paul, for that wonderful joke. Anyways, you know, at the end of the videos, I try to ask you guys questions. So here's what I want to know. I want to know how you got your CB radio handle. Of course, I want to know what it is. So leave it in the comments. Tell me how you got it. And I'll tell you a story about how I come up with mine. Oh, and one final question. Wouldn't you guys love to see an interview on here? I mean, really. I could just call my friend up. We could talk about all sorts of radio-related stuff, life-related stuff. You could hear me blabber on in my confusion. Wouldn't that be great? Leave it in the comments. Tell me about it. Tell me how you feel. I don't know why I slipped into the Southern. Oh, yeah, and I can also tell you another story. In fact, I might tell you that story right now. You ready? Okay. So... When I was 15 years old, I talked like this. That's how I sounded. I could not sound any other way than this. But I was really kind of frustrated and kind of afraid how, I was scared how women would react to me, and I thought they maybe think I'm dumb. So over time, I started refining my voice a little bit, using a little bit of Canadian, a little bit of northern, sort of New Yorky, like dog, cat, dog. Otherwise, it would be dog, or fire is fire now, tar instead of tire, right? So I actually changed my accent at 16, which is why a lot of people don't actually know where I'm from. And the unfortunate thing is when you change your accent, especially I would assume at an early age, you can't go back. So if I wake up from a dead sleep, I don't sound like I'm from North Carolina. I sound like this. So it's kind of odd, but you can change your voice entirely. Yeah, but sometimes I do miss it. Sometimes I wish I could sink back into that. But this is just a copy of what I used to sound like. Maybe I should get a couple of videos of me when I was younger talking like this. And in that way, you guys could understand what I'm talking about. Plus, I used to make all sorts of YouTube videos. I used to make all sorts of home movies. If you guys did the same thing, you can leave it in the comments too. But yeah, I used to make all sorts of stuff. I was destined to make videos. That's what I like doing. Anyways, it's 10-4 with Johnny Jones. And I'll see you guys later.